Have you ever been standing still for just a second, and suddenly your dog presses their entire body against you? Not jumping, not barking, not asking for food. They just lean. Most people smile and think it means love. A cute habit. A funny little thing dogs do for attention. But what if that's not the real reason at all? What if your dog isn't leaning on you just because they're affectionate, but because being close to your body is the only thing making them feel safe in that moment? Because dogs do not press their full weight into someone for no reason, and in many cases, that lean is more than love. It's more than closeness. It's more than comfort. It can be your dog's silent way of saying, "I feel better when I'm touching you." And once you understand what that really means, this behavior stops looking random. It starts looking emotional. Let's start with what's really happening the moment your dog leans on you. 1. Your dog is not doing it by accident. When a dog leans, they are making a deliberate choice. They could stand beside you. They could lie down nearby. They could walk away. But instead, they put their body weight onto yours. That pressure matters. Dogs are incredibly physical animals. They experience the world through movement, scent, proximity, and touch. So when your dog presses their side into your leg, their chest into your body, or their whole weight against you on the couch, that is communication. Not with words, not with tricks, but with contact. And contact, for dogs, often means trust. Because in the animal world, you don't make yourself physically vulnerable around just anyone. You do it around the ones who feel safe. So the first truth is this: your dog leans on you because, in their mind, you are not neutral. You are not just nearby. You are a source of security. 2. They may be using your body to calm their nervous system. This is the part most owners never think about. To you, it feels sweet. To your dog, it may feel necessary, because physical pressure can be deeply calming for some dogs. Just like some people feel soothed by a hug, a hand on the shoulder, or a weighted blanket, dogs can also regulate themselves through steady body contact. That means your dog may not just be leaning because they want affection. They may be leaning because it helps them settle internally. If the room feels too loud, if something unfamiliar is happening, if they're slightly unsure, if their emotions are elevated for reasons you can't even see, touching you can help bring them back down. And that's the shocking part. Because what looks like a cute habit may actually be your dog using your body as emotional support. Not in a dramatic way, not in a conscious human way, but in a raw, instinctive, nervous system way. Your dog may be leaning on you because you help their body feel okay. 3. Your dog may lean when they feel unsure. Here's where this behavior becomes even more important. Not every lean happens when a dog is relaxed. Sometimes it happens when something feels off. A stranger enters the house. Another dog walks by. You're standing in a crowded place. There's a noise outside. The environment changes. And suddenly, your dog moves closer. Not by stepping in front of you, not by hiding behind furniture, but by pressing against your leg, very quietly, very gently. And if you don't know what to look for, you'll think it's just affection. But in many cases, it's reassurance seeking. Your dog is saying, "Something feels uncertain. So I need to touch the thing that makes me feel safe." That thing is you. And this is why context matters so much. A soft, relaxed lean with loose muscles and calm eyes may be pure affection and connection. But a stiffer lean, with alert ears, tension, wide eyes, or scanning the room, can mean your dog is not just loving you, they're coping. Same behavior. Very different message. 4. Your dog may also be claiming closeness with you. Dogs bond through proximity. Humans use conversation. Dogs use presence. They stay close to the beings they trust. They follow them, sleep near them, watch them move from room to room. And sometimes, they physically attach themselves for a moment by leaning. This can happen when your dog is happy to see you, when you finally sit down after moving around all day, when another person enters the room, or when attention shifts away from them. And no, that doesn't automatically mean dominance. It doesn't mean your dog is trying to control you. Usually, it means something much simpler. They're choosing you. Out of the entire room, They want your body, your side, your space, your contact. Almost like they're saying, "This is where I belong." And when you think about it that way, the lean becomes something else entirely. Not just neediness, not just clinginess. Attachment. 5. Your dog may be reading your emotions before you do. Dogs are constantly observing us. Your breathing, your posture, your voice, your energy, the way you walk into a room. And because dogs are so sensitive to emotional shifts, they often pick up on your stress before you've even admitted it to yourself. That means sometimes your dog leans on you because you're the one who feels off. You may not be crying, you may not be speaking, you may not even know you look different, but your dog notices something in your body changed, and their instinct tells them to move closer. This is why some dogs seem to appear out of nowhere when you're overwhelmed, sad, or mentally drained. They lean on you, sit against you, press into your legs, and it feels almost eerie, like they know something. Maybe they do. Not in words, not in human thought, but in sensation. Your dog may be responding to your emotional state with the one thing they understand best: physical closeness. So sometimes that lean is not only your dog calming themselves, it may also be your dog trying to ground you. 6. Some dogs lean because they trust you more than the environment. Think about what that means for a second. When your dog is in a room, they have options. They can trust the house, the floor, the routine, the distance between you, but instead, they choose direct contact. That tells you something profound. It tells you that your presence feels more stable than the environment around them, more comforting than space, more reassuring than being alone, more regulating than distance. And this is where the behavior gets emotional. Because your dog is not just near you, they are using you as an anchor. The safest place in the room is not the bed, not the crate, not the corner of the couch, it's your body. That's why some dogs lean harder when life feels less predictable, when visitors arrive, when routines change, when the outside world feels noisy or unfamiliar, because when uncertainty rises, they move towards certainty, and to them, certainty is you. 7. The real meaning goes deeper than affection. Most people think a dog leaning means, "My dog loves me." And yes, love is part of it, but the deeper truth is heavier than that. Because love is not the only reason a dog uses contact. Sometimes they do it because you are woven into their sense of safety, into their ability to settle, into how they cope with stress, into how they feel grounded in the world. In other words, your dog may not just love being near you, they may rely on it more than you realize. That is the part that hits hardest. Because your dog is not simply showing affection in that moment. They are revealing dependence, trust, emotional attachment, and nervous system relief all at once. Without words, your dog may be saying, "When I touch you, I feel calmer. When I'm close to you, I feel safer. You help my world make sense." And once you see that, the lean stops being a throwaway moment. It becomes a confession, a quiet one, a physical one, but a confession all the same. 8. So what should you do when your dog leans on you? First, pay attention to the moment around it. Is your dog relaxed? Sleepy? Happy? Then it may simply be affection and bonding. But if the lean happens during noise, chaos, tension, strangers, or unfamiliar situations, slow down and notice the rest of their body language. Because your dog may be asking for reassurance, not just closeness. And the most beautiful part is this: you don't always need to say anything. You don't need to fix everything. You don't need a perfect response. Sometimes your dog just needs what they came for. Your presence, your steadiness, your body saying, "You're safe, I'm here." So the next time your dog suddenly leans on you, don't brush it off as a random cute habit, because it may be one of the most honest things your dog ever does. Not loud, not dramatic, not obvious. Just a quiet moment where they place their weight on you, because out of everything in their world, you are the thing they trust most. And maybe that's the real reason this behavior hits so deeply. Because your dog doesn't need words to tell you how much you matter. They don't need a speech. They don't need a grand gesture. Sometimes they just lean. And in their language, that says everything.